Hi everyone, it's Rosie here, and having just removed a lot of old galvanized plumbing that went in the mid-1950s, almost, 60 years ago, I can tell you right now, you can learn a few things and you can pass along a few tips, and I want to do that today for you on the channel, and maybe it'll be some benefit for the people in the future. When you're removing old galvanized pipe, the situation you're going to run into is a lot of times, most times, almost every time, that old pipe is going to have a lot of rust buildup where the joint, where it makes the contact with the elbow or the T or the coupling. So the important thing is you can't just start immediately getting in there and trying to remove the pipe out of those T, elbow, or coupling. What you need to do is get some type of solvent, penetrating solvent, and what I found really works great is PB, the blaster. You apply some of this to the joint, you let it soak in a bit, you tap it, you go back about 10 minutes, you tap on that joint with your pipe wrench, okay? You reapply some of the PB spray, and then you come back and you get your wrench on there, but you don't just put one wrench on there. What I like to do is and what I recommend that you do are two things. Number one, do not work high on a pipe where the joint is maybe a foot or two below. You've got to get your pipe wrench as close to the joint, as close to the T, as close to the elbow, as close to the coupling as you can. Do not put a pipe wrench a foot, 2 feet away from the connection and start twisting, because what's going to happen is you have a really good chance of breaking that fitting off, because you're having what they call a lot of torsion turning on that pipe. You're actually twisting the pipe itself, which is really bad news for breaking the contact. So a lot of your force, instead of going in a twisting motion and releasing that joint, breaking that connection, you're actually twisting the pipe itself. So what you need to try to do, you need to get one pipe up on the joint if you can, and the other pipe as close to that joint as possible, and then work them in opposition to each other, okay? That's the best way and the safest way to do it. In other words, put one pipe wrench up on the elbow, the T, or the coupling, and get the other one as close as possible to that and work those in opposition, okay? Work those apart from each other. That way you have a much reduced risk of breaking a pipe off, because if you break a pipe off, then you've got to work back to the next coupling, and that might be 10 feet, it might be 30 feet away of piping, and you've got a serious problem on your hands. Your house might have to have the water shut off a while till you get a plumber in. The other thing that I want to say is take your time, okay? It doesn't have to be immediately done. You take a couple pulls on it, you tap it a little bit, that joint. Every time you tap it on a molecular level, it's scattering those molecules down there and causing some of that rust to fracture there. So you want to get those pipe wrenches in opposition with each other and twist carefully and twist with strength. Sometimes you might put a little leverage, you might get a longer piece of 2-inch iron pipe, and that allows you, if you have one person holding the joint solid up there in opposition, the other person can come along and twist that and loosen that connection. But make sure first that you use something like a solvent to get in there and loosen that connection, and you will have good luck doing it. I managed to break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 shower connections, hot, cold, a toilet connection down there, and a hot and cold for the sink, without a lot of incidents at all. And beforehand, when you take off those pipes, if you're going to repressurize your system, make very sure to get some caps to put in there. Make sure the right size, like this was 1/2-inch caps to go in there. And some Teflon tape to close off the line so you can pressurize your system. You can definitely remove the old galvanized piping. It's not that big a deal. Just make sure you work close to where the coupling is or the joint is, and then make sure that you use 2 pipe wrenches when you're doing the twisting. It works well. If you're in an area where it's impossible to get 2 wrenches on and you're not having any progress with 1 wrench and you're up high, but you can get 1 down low, then by all means you can take the Sawzall with a metal cutting blade. It will cut through that galvanized pipe and get down about 2 or 3 inches from where it goes into the T, the coupling, or the elbow, and then work it at that point. Hit it a few times on that joint to loosen up some of to shock the joint a little bit, and then work off with your work off and unscrew. The other last trick I want to tell you, and this was by a 45-year experienced plumber, and it worked like a charm today. Okay, when I was desperate for this toilet connection to remove that, I checked online with a guy I know that's given some plumbing tips before, and he said, what you want to do when you have that galvanized pipe, the initial thing, and it's kind of counterintuitive, is get your wrench on there and try to tighten it a little bit first. Try to tighten it. And he said he's never had it fail in 45 years where he went to tighten it, yanked hard on it first to tighten it, and then went ahead and loosened it, and it broke that connection. You know, it worked like a charm for me today. I got on there, I tightened that a little bit, as hard as that felt, and I didn't really feel like I was making a lot of progress, but then I was able to reverse the pipe wrench here, put another one on there, and boy, that connection just came right off. So remember that, okay? It's a really, really good trick from a 45-year experienced plumber. Tighten a little bit first, and then loosen. So there's 3 good ways. To spray the 2 wrenches close to the joint, and if all else fails, try to tighten a little bit on it and then back it out. You will have success removing your old galvanized pipe. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, and your tips and your comments, thumbs up, are always appreciated. Thanks so much, guys.